Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one's entitled Alien Floating Cities, Built on the Planet X planets before they exploded. Now, floating cities in the skies have been observed by thousands of people in China. These cities cannot be mirages, as they have been seen and photographed by many people from different angles. These cities have buildings on them that look like Earth buildings. The fact that they float in the sky suggests that the pieces of rock they have been built upon are floating in the sky. This is what is to be expected of the debris pieces that belong to the Planet X system of dead stars, planets, and moons. These planets died when they lost their gravitational energy, and now the debris pieces which enter the Earth's atmosphere have a lower gravitational potential than the Earth's surface, which causes them to remain suspended in the Earth's atmosphere until they have gained enough gravitational energy to reach the surface. And you may look at Article 548 entitled Planet X and the Alien Floating Cities in the Sky. And here you see one of these cities, and you can see buildings within cloud, and they are floating in the sky over the ocean, because this looks out over the ocean. And you can see some outlines behind the front buildings, which suggest that there are many more buildings there. And these buildings are, of course, seen over a region where there's nothing but the ocean, and can only be built upon a piece of rock which used to belong to one of the Planet X system planets, which died and turned into a dead core surrounded by a debris field made up of the broken pieces of the planet. And here you see another two photographs. This is actually the same city seen on the same day, but from different angles. So that shows you cannot be a mirage. Now, when the planets died, the atmosphere was lost, but the water from the planet turned into clouds and surrounded the debris pieces and the core. The core and the debris pieces would have retained their original electric charge, and as planets are positively charged on the inside, they would retain this charge. Then, since water is a polarized molecule, which means it's positive on one side and negative on the other, the water cloud would be attracted to the positively charged pieces and form a cloud envelope around them. The inner pieces would have a higher positive charge, and the cloud around them would tend to be denser, whilst the surface pieces would have a weaker positive charge and thus have a more diffuse cloud envelope around them. Thus, the rocks on which these cities are built, which seem to be surrounded in diffuse clouds, would most likely come from the surface of a Planet X planet. And here you see these dark shapes and these jagged edges which appear amongst these iridescent clouds, and they look like mountain tops, but that is clearly impossible, as there is no other mountain behind the one in the foreground. This and that. So you can see there's no mountain here that could possibly connect to these. So these must therefore be pieces of rock suspended in the atmosphere, and you may look at Article 546 entitled Rock Suspended in the Atmosphere Amongst Iridescent Clouds. Rocks within clouds have also been observed floating in the skies. I've just shown you. Now, these rocks are also surrounded by diffuse clouds, and thus most likely also belonged on the surface of one of these dead planets. Now, the rocks float because they are low in gravitational energy and would thus behave like a balloon or a blimp in the atmosphere. However, if you take Earth material up to a blimp floating in the Earth's atmosphere and start building a house on it, the materials would soon make the blimp too heavy, and it would sink through the atmosphere to the surface. Thus, these cities could not have been built with Earth materials. These cities had to have been built on the planets before they died or broke up into these debris pieces. Now, if these planets had died slowly, as the Earth has been doing for thousands of years, and you may look at Article 581 entitled Red Clouds Mean the Earth is Dying, Losing Outer Atmospheric Layer, you would expect all animal and human life to have disappeared long before the planet's surface had broken up, and the buildings to have fallen into ruin long before then as well. But the buildings we see in Figure 1 do not appear to be in ruins. They look like buildings that could still be inhabited. This can only mean that the planets died suddenly. They exploded into pieces when there were still people on these planets living in those buildings. Since the atmosphere would have been lost, they would have all died as a result of no atmosphere to breathe. But some may have also been torn to pieces by rock pieces impacting other rock pieces as they exploded outwards, which would then explain why there is desiccated blood cells coming into our atmosphere. The fact that these cities are not observed reaching the ground suggests that they are pushed out to sea or over the ocean, where they will eventually sink below the waves. The fact that the pieces of rock remain upright within the Earth's atmosphere suggests that the bottom has a higher charge, which causes it to always have more gravitational energy. The fact that these buildings look so similar to Earth's modern buildings suggests that the people who lived on these planets had a civilization very similar to ours. Furthermore, this suggests that planets in the universe, if they have life on them, are likely to be very similar to ours. In conclusion, the floating alien cities in the sky, which have been seen mainly over China, are cities which were built on the original planets which suddenly exploded. And these are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.